Hello, welcome everybody. This is the regular meeting of the Communications Committee. It is 4/23/2026 and the time is 6:30 p.m. This is our call to order. We don't have anybody online tonight, so other than Esther, but no committee members online tonight, so we can do all of our voting and everything with hands and whatnot. So good to go, makes it a lot easier. So first item up is the approval of minutes from the last meeting.
I sent around the minutes from our last meeting on April 9th. I got no corrections.
Oh.
Oh,
I have them.
oh, good.
I'm sorry, I read them just hours ago.
Well, I will have
Okay.
corrections now.
And maybe I'm wrong. Item 16, bullet 3. Last sentence in that first paragraph, it says community play explorer.
Oh, that's,
I think you meant community plan explorer.
thank you. I did.
Well,
I made that
catch.
correction.
That's all I know.
Okay,
I move we accept the minutes as amended.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain, I wasn't here.
So are you a member now?
I was just gonna say, am I
That's a good
official
question.
now?
Have you gotten the yellow card from the town clerk? Have you been sworn in?
I have done the training and I signed the papers that you told me to sign and sent them in. I don't have a yellow card.
Did she,
Did she swear you in? Did you like a,
She told me to sign the paper and send it in to her.
Normally, they would swear you in as a full committee member.
that's a common committee member.
Unless something has changed.
Probably that only happens in person swearing.
I don't know the right answer, but I know that they're gonna call us out if it's wrong, so I'm gonna have you just sit back. Yes, will you totally talk? We've already voted you in, you just haven't been official, you can't vote. But yes, okay. We'll figure that out. It's always a weird thing getting people into committees, and it's always a different process every single time.
Also, another interesting thing, just while we're giving out, is that according to the letter that she gave me, the appointment lasts through June. It seemed like a lot of work to go through for 2 months.
It's.
We all, yeah, I did it till June of next year, and they were like, no, we're just gonna do it to June of this year, because then everybody has to go through reapproval, which is something I'll bring up now. It's not in the agenda, we'll just, and we're not gonna discuss it, deliberate it, but coming in June 30th, we have to, by then, we have to tell them who is staying in the committee. So everybody has to go through resubmittal. If we have to take a vote on somebody can say, hey, I don't want, Allegra in the committee anymore. I think she's missed too many meetings. Right? And they could call it to a vote and we could kick somebody out. I don't know why we would ever do that, but that is a thing that can be done once a year. I will also hold votes for new committee roles if people want to. I always do that in June. If somebody wants to take the chair position from me, please do.
Good luck.
I've been doing it for 5 years now, I think, 4 years, a long time.
But you've learned the job.
That's what happens when you do a good job, Chris.
And I run unopposed because nobody else will take it.
Straw candidate from somebody, I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, by June, so they make it, that's, I think the new thing is that they're just making everybody on June, even though it's like 2 months away. Why don't we just do it next year, whatever? Okay.
It's because it lines up with the annual report and the new select board members and everything else.
It just makes it easier on their end
Yes.
to do it year by year, yeah, and then set that deadline. Anyway, so yes, we have the approval minutes. Moving on to item number 3, public comment. I don't think, technically we do have a public here, but they are here to be joining a member, to join the committee. So if you had anything you wanted to say as a public member, you can do it now. Otherwise, 3, 2, 1, public is not here, moving on. Topics not reasonably anticipated by the chair. Anybody have anything brand new to bring up to me? I will say, I gotta throw this out there, we do have another person who has thrown in a letter of interest. Because it came in like yesterday, I will let it know, we only have 1 more seat available. In my mind, it's kind of first come, first serve. I'll send everybody out the letter of interest today. I only found it yesterday, this morning. just gonna let people know, because it's fair to let people know before we have a vote. Anything else from anybody else? Okay. Education training reports from committee members.
I'm just gonna say, I went to Mass AI Hub, re-signed up, they said they'd send me an email. I haven't received an email yet that I'm aware of.
How long has it been?
Oh, last week.
Oh.
No.
So I'll try it one more time.
Do they have support? Do they offer? I haven't noticed. Do they offer support?
I'm not sure what you're asking me.
Do they have a support tab for help? Click here.
I wouldn't
contact
know.
here.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I would double check that, and just, you might have to email somebody, and just be like, why is it my account?
Okay. I mean, yeah, this is like our third attempt, and you ended up having to,
Okay.
yeah.
Remind me, you need to get me the receipt.
Oh,
I've marked it in big letters on my last agenda that I need to reimburse you or put in
it's a
reimbursement.
gift to the town. Oh, I can't do that.
That's half a dinner out.
Done.
Any other training, education updates? Occasionally we do training, like if we get MMA, Mass Municipalities Association, is a great association to be part of. It is just a group of Massachusetts individuals, or they're paid, and it's an organization that like does training on state laws, state resources, and it's all just a huge wealth of knowledge. And like every week they do a webinar on something, right? Webinar on AI practices, webinar on accessibility, there's all kinds of things. So some of us will go and attend those things. There's anything that relates to communications, really. If we did any kind of training or sat on anything or whatever, you don't have to, but we like to at least record it, and that way at the end of the year we can say like, oh yeah, like our committee not only is like doing the job of keeping up on the education. We're just trying to like prove our worth.
I think our HR person would like us to do these kind of outreach things also. I think there was an email to that effect a while back.
Yeah. But it's like, be present in these things. So.
And we like doing it during the meetings, listing it, so at the end of the year, we can summarize the training that everybody's done.
We also like sharing it with the meeting too, so we'd be like, that sounds interesting, let me find a copy of that webinar, so I can take it too.
Right. Exactly. All right, is John here?
Some unnamed person.
I think the dot is usually Esther. That's what she's been previously. John is not here, second week in a row, so we will skip that for now. I'm just gonna say, in case he runs in late, but we'll move on to 7. New letter of interest. Jonah, thank you for joining us. You haven't asked me any questions?
I'm just kind of here to listen for now. Yeah, I didn't really have too much to like. I wanted to kind of sit in and hear what was going on before I was gonna ask, like, shoot questions at you, I guess.
Okay, we can skip this section and bring it up at the end. Ask you if you're still interested, and we can take a vote today if you're interested, or you can come to the next one, or you can ask us to postpone to the next one, we'll take a vote then.
I'm happy to do it at the end today, yeah.
Okay, so we'll skip over that one as well. That is absolutely
Zipping
fine.
along here.
We are zipping along. It is beautiful out. We spent a lot of time here last time. So, yes. Esther, are you online? BCTV manager updates?
I am, but can we push my section?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Are we pushing your section as well, Kate?
Yep.
You guys are the ones that asked me to put them at the start.
Then I changed my mind
So
last
how's
time.
this gonna work? BCTV, COMCOM, and then John? at the
And
end?
then we'll do John. Yeah. So we'll move those.
Is it John or Jonah?
Jonah, sorry, you said John.
I did, because I didn't read it.
Cultural Summit follow-up discussion. So we discussed this last time that we had a handful of ideas to go over. I have not made any progress on my stuff other than requesting from Kate to get the annual report from the town. That is, you weren't at the last meeting, were you?
I was,
You
but
were.
I was virtual.
Gotcha, yes. That was so I can create that like BuzzFeed questionnaire system. I figured I'd try to use that as a template to gather some questions and things. I just haven't had the time to do it, so
I
that,
have a very updated copy of that.
if you can send that to me, that'd be great. Yeah. The other one was the town facilities, and you were gonna double check, I think, with Abby to see if she's updated that.
So she sent me, she went in and she edited Maud's file with the new facilities. But that doesn't really do us much good, because it's outdated and everything else. Like the facilities are great, but now we have to like pull all the information back out of it. So I haven't decided if I'm gonna ask her to rip the info back out of it, or if I'm just gonna work off of what she has. It hasn't been front and center on my thing. You were also gonna look and see about making, some locations in the town hall on there.
I thought you said she had already had the town hall. so-
No,
Okay,
she has information on the town hall rooms in the folder.
but not the rest of it. Okay,
Yeah, I haven't trained her on how to use the module yet.
okay. So for you, those of you, I'm trying to be cognizant of Robin and Jonah, who haven't actually been part of these discussions. So we had the community summit a little while ago. We had a whole bunch of people come in and just get to know the different committees and talk about some of the issues in town. A lot of ideas came out of that, and a lot of them were communications based. One of them was people just don't have, there's like a lack of knowledge of what facilities are available to use in town. Civic Plus, the provider that we built our town website on, actually has a module for facilities where you can like even go as far as renting a facility. But it basically becomes a search system where you can like search for a system for a room that has, Wi-Fi and air conditioning and seats 6 people, right? It's all built in. You just nobody's put anything in there. So it's been sort of a back and forth discussion of, all right, who's going to actually put that information in there? And what does it actually look like? Because there are many times with Civic Plus where they guarantee something works and does something, and then we actually get in there and they're like, oh, actually you have to pay the premium price to get all of those tools. So it's been sort of a who is going to do this and when. Okay, so we still need to add the town hall stuff, so I will carve out some time to take care of that.
Clarification, what is the town hall stuff that's not the rooms?
So it is the room, so you have to set it up on there, so that way there's like you'd have the town hall here, and you could rent the entire town hall and all the rooms in it, or you could rent the planning board meeting room. So you'd have the parent here and then all the children under it.
Okay,
So that hasn't been set up yet.
gotcha, okay. The
So-
structure.
Was
Was there a custodian, somebody be assigned to open and lock the doors if somebody who's not a member or doesn't have a key? How's that gonna work?
And that's why we haven't talked about making it so that people can reserve online, because we're not at that.
Okay, right, so currently we just want to make it available, so people know that these facilities are there and who to get in touch with.
Okay,
We figure we start with the town hall, but really it's gonna be like the rec department. Who should, I think they own most of the facilities that are rentable.
oh, I see,
Yeah.
okay.
Right, the town hall, the different fields that we can actually put in there and stuff like that. Rec department building is all rentable. Okay, so.
Well, it can also be things that are not just rental, right? Like you can put things on there so people know that we have this golf course and they can go find it. Like it's all locations, not just things that you can rent.
Or it should be eventually, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that has to be done. And I'll also throw out there if, so for the new folks, that if there's we've all kind of have assigned stuff that we've been doing, I do a lot of the web stuff, Ed does some of the web stuff. It's just whatever, BCTV stuff, Louis is still on BCTV, so he handles those things. If there's anything out there that interests you, we can have more than one person on any project. We can't have more than
3.
we can't have more than 3 because 4 is quorum. So then that would be like a public meeting reach if you were to like get together and do something. So if there's anything that we're talking about that you're like, hey, that's actually pretty interesting, I'd be into that and getting involved in that, just speak up, right? And you're not, just speak up, because I mean, a lot of this stuff, we've all been doing like multiple projects for a while, so like, it'd be great to just pass them.
We haven't had any fresh blood in a long time too.
Yes, it's been about a year, yeah. Okay, so all in all,
Still in progress.
still in progress. Not a lot has moved on that one. Questions, comments, concerns? I'll ask before I move on. Nope, okay. AI and Belchertown Government. I'm gonna kick this over to Ed.
Not really anything new to report, I'm afraid. Sorry on that, just had not been writing that one. The big thing is where the policy, I have to look up where that last landed. I think it's in council's lap now. We've got policy going back and forth on that. UMass is ready to start doing their survey. They've sent it through they've sent it to their institutional review board, who has to bless any surveys and all that sort of stuff, things like that.
Interviews. Adult
Sorry,
interviews.
interviews, you're right, sorry. Emily sent it to Chris and I to take a look at her protocol, looked good to us. She wants a list of suggested names.
Okay.
So we're gonna put that together for her to do these surveys and her interviews on. Each one of them will be about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. You know, whether it's gonna be in person or Zoom, it's gonna depend on the person. They are gonna be recorded so they can document them. She has a student intern that's gonna be working on it with her to compile these results. So a lot of it's, you know, follow up to the workshop we had, views on AI. How do you feel about it? What's it going to do for you and your job? All that sort of stuff, things like that. But really, other than that, yes, I did put in for an intern. UMass has a program where through the Eisenberg School of Management, they will pay for students to do internships during the summer, which I like because I always hated unpaid internships. I thought it was extremely unfair. And we got one student interested today. So we'll see what comes through the door on that. They are virtual internships,
Okay.
but I suppose if somebody's local, why keep it in virtual? And they can come in and have them come in. So we'll see what happens there. But the purpose of that internship is to work with us on this whole integration of AI in the town government project.
So do you think you're gonna want to interview department heads first?
No, she wants a cross section.
Okay.
And it's not a first sort of thing. We'll give her a list of names all the way, department heads down to front line, people like that. They want people who support AI, people who don't, skeptics and cheerleaders. You get all sorts of a broad range of responses.
Okay.
Is that town employees or?
And community volunteers.
Well, and they want, if we can get anybody regional as well, that I have a couple ideas on, that are like associated with Belchertown, but not necessarily staff or committee members.
You mean like the planning commission or?
I was gonna say, like, one of the ones I had in mind is, I forget her name, but she's on the health board, but she's
Andrea?
Andrea?
yes.
Okay.
Like, she's not Belchertown, but she's on the Belchertown select board, or health board, rather. So I think that's-
Andrea, she's the health director.
Yeah, she is the health director, we just share her with other people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But she is, I've always known her as some like regional resource.
Yeah, it's 3 times.
She's 3
It's
Yeah, she has 3
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Either way, I think that's great.
a good idea. But other than that, no, I'm sorry, I don't have anything more to report on AI. And I've got to get back on that horse again and really start taking stuff over.
Did a lot, that's it. Seems like you're part of it.
That's all I got.
Questions, comments, anything?
I just want to make sure I'm understanding the purpose of the UMass interviews you were talking about? Is it kind of trying to get a temperature check on how people feel about AI in terms of people who serve the town?
If you need some history on this one.
Yeah, that's fair. You wanna take it or should I?
Good. I'm
Okay,
I'm
I'm sorry,
actually
a lot of talking.
gonna pull up what Emily sent us, so we have something to refer to.
So we were asked by the town manager, Steve Williams, to bring the town up into the new AI digital world. This was about a year ago. We have to start with policy, we have to figure out what's the right way to use it, and things like that. And it's all because it's here, right? It's already, even back then, a year ago, it wasn't even quite as integrated into like every single tool and system we have. Now it's like everything. So, it's taking over kids' computer. So rather than kind of just like going out on our own and trying to figure this out, because it seemed like a lot of other towns were either not bothered by it or sort of doing the same thing, we partnered with the Public Interest Technology Group at UMass, which is a relatively new department that is basically like a degree in like assisting public services in technology, right? It's in the name. And it came out to be like a great, opportunity for both of us to learn from each other. So while they help us, explore policy and like they did a training for us, they came in with a bunch of professors and people in the department and talked about like what is AI and like helped the town staff, like we had like 7 people there or something, like learning about it. So they're gonna help us with that stuff, but we're also going to assist them in some of the learning that they have to do. They've never actually worked with a town or municipality, and a lot of it is like proving what their department is worth to the university. So this is sort of a hand-in-hand research project where they want to interview Emily Nutwell, one of the professors over there, wants to interview a whole bunch of the people involved in the town. Like we said earlier, it is a bunch of staff, but also committee members who help make decisions, and also anybody else who has an important enough role in Belchertown or like the local region and whatnot to be able to just get a feel for how local municipalities feel about AI right now.
And the people who are gonna be using it, there are a lot of skeptics.
Yep, yeah, like,
A lot of skeptic on some of the programs. So all these things they're trying to figure out which is the best way for Belchertown to go.
yeah, I mean, there's skeptics, there are people that think that this is gonna take over their jobs. There are people that love it and use it every single day, trained or not, right? There are people that you shouldn't be using it that are using it, or they're using it the wrong way, or like, and we have gone over some of the loose policy stuff, and we did the training to be like, don't put people's social security numbers into AI, right? Like, this is, find out whether or not it's a public source or not.
Review, and verify.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's up to the individual to review all the work and make sure what they're submitting is their work and not AI's work, even if you use AI to create drafts, stuff like that. So we're still, after a year, we have not completed a policy because so much has changed, and honestly, there's just been like lost in email and back and forth between town council and other stuff.
I was just checking the status that in UMass is ends right now. We had asked them to weigh in on it, and we
By
were
the end of
waiting,
the month, that was it.
and we were waiting to submit it until we heard from UMass, and they haven't gotten back to us at all. I'll
Okay.
send them a reminder right now.
Okay, you take it.
Definitely a crazy time of the semester.
Yeah,
I mean,
Hey, in that's also like a reminder that like we move at the speed of municipality, that like we try to go faster, but like, talk to anybody to do anything extra right now, and they're gonna be like, town meeting is in a couple weeks, you're not getting anything from me.
I'm gonna be a squeaky wheel for Ed. They have this part in here where they talk about how you're responsible for all applicable laws, and they never mention where to find them or what they might be. I find that a little disturbing, untoward.
Yeah.
So, I would love it if somebody would just say, go here, or look at these websites, or here are the laws as they currently exist.
Did you make comments in?
He did,
I
yeah.
did, I've been making that forever,
Yeah,
I have yet to see anything happen, so I'm squeaking.
Is it part of the AI work too, to help the town decide which AI platform to use?
That's the other big part of it, yeah.
That's the other thing, we're trying to create a,
Criteria for selecting it, and I actually had both Chat and Claude do that. Develop documents on, okay, what's the criteria we use? And it did a much deeper dive than I ever imagined in a million years, which was good, on things we have to think about, things we have to do. Then I actually had each one of them check each other's work to make sure that, they're covering all the bases and things like that. I gotta admit, in reading it, it's stuff above my pay grade. It looked good, it was impressive, but it was above my pay grade.
I'm gonna say, the fire department versus the police department versus town hall, all have different needs and different things that they wanna do with AI.
they already do with AI.
Yeah.
But, and to just be clear with that, it's not to decide which AI to use. The criteria is actually going to be which ones to avoid. And that way, if any new systems come out or there's anything else that comes up, you can put it to a test and say, okay, leaning on the side of caution, I'm not going to use this service. Some of the things to look at is like, what do they do with the information? Is it kept public, or is it kept private, or is it used publicly to train the AI actual, or is there an option to turn that? Like ChatGPT gives you an option to like turn it off. Like don't share anything, don't use it for training, which hopefully is real.
Well, that criteria was big on that too, yeah, that was one of the things I mentioned.
Yeah.
That, yeah, it's gotta be internal, it can't be going out there feeding the world.
Have we overwhelmed you with that?
No, that's actually something I'm very. AI, that whole thing, especially, I went to school, I was still in school right as that was all starting, undergrads then. So I've been in the thick of all the discussions as to whether or not to use AI for the past, I don't know, is it 6 years now we've been dealing with this? I don't know.
It's been a while.
But since the whole AI boom started though, I've been on the front line of kind of that. I'm also was computer science.
Welcome. Excellent. Well, if you want to get more involved in that, and we vote you in, then please get in touch with us. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else.
One thing I would like to mention, and Chris said at the beginning that Steve gave us the mandate. He did, but also this was something we took to him. And you'll find that a lot of projects start here. The town does come to us and ask us to do stuff, but also we recognize gaps that have to be fixed. And we knew that this was one coming down the pipe. So we went to, and Steve was all on board with this. I mean, he was incredibly supportive of this, loved the idea, and really welcomed our taking it and running with it. So he's very much behind it.
Steve's the town manager.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Between mostly because of my dad, but also because of my mom, I do have a decent list of names of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, his dad's very active in town.
My dad used to be on the school committee, Eric Weiss, for.
Oh, Eric.
Yeah,
I know.
Okay.
He's on the capital planning committee, isn't he?
yes, that sounds right, yeah.
Because he tried to get me to go on.
We all know Eric.
It's
All
okay.
right. No idea who he is, but okay. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Regarding AI? All right, moving on to the communication plan. I have just to thank everybody for getting in a whole bunch of responses this time around. I'm still working on integrating a lot of them. I appreciate it. And it also, I think, to me, reinforces that this plan is closer to what we want than we've been to in a while. That it is the merger of the the two. I think we had a great idea to begin with, where we, okay, have the strategic, and then we built the tactical, but as we kept moving, it was, okay, this is becoming a really big document with multiple pieces, and go here to see this, and go to here to see this, and everything, and then I think bringing it together is helpful.
It was very easy to read and understand,
I mean,
which I appreciate.
huge kudos to you, Chris, really. Huge kudos. This is excellent.
And I'm gonna pass it back on Mark, because a lot of what I put in there was stuff he already wrote, so it was just rewriting it and putting it up. So,
Have you guys agreed on terminology now?
we're still there. I have all of the notes for you, including getting the photos. Oh, that reminds me, getting the photos back in there. I'm gonna throw this out to everybody that frankly, I'm whatever on photos and getting stuff in there. If anybody has ideas for the photos, we have the originals. I can sit around the original document with the crane and the picture of the building and stuff like that. Ed is like our local photographer. I know he has a whole ton of photos. If people have suggestions for the photos and stuff like that, or if they want to take the document and try adding them in there, that would be appreciated.
Do we really need photos? I mean,
I think it livens it up a little bit, a couple of them here and there. You suggested graphs, I'll put the graphs in, you know.
And I think to break up, it's a lot of text, especially when you start getting towards the second half.
yeah, but I mean, my feeling is that if they're relevant photos to the content, not just pretty pictures, you know, if the stuff that's relevant to what we're talking about. It's my thought. I mean, I'm not gonna die myself, you know, I mean, it's my thoughts.
What do you think anytime we add photos, it makes the document longer? And as soon as somebody opens up a document that's 30 pages, they're gonna close it.
I also think in defense of maybe a photo or two, but it seems like the type of document that is like kind of more of a planning doc that wouldn't actually have photos. It just feels like a different fit for this type of document. But
Okay.
the document is honestly beautiful. So either way, I also don't have strong preferences.
You don't want to die in the hill.
Sounds to me like we're skipping that.
I said I will volunteer to take the final document and make it pretty.
Absolutely.
One less
Well,
thing,
I'm actually on the committee.
one less thing you have to do, Chris.
Yep.
I work in publishing, so.
Oh, perfect. Get ready to make all of our documents.
Inaccessible.
Accessible,
Yeah,
yes.
very, very inaccessible.
Well, actually, we skipped a whole bunch of it. I was gonna say, we are cruising through this. But otherwise, I don't have a new version for everybody. Like I said, I got like the responses today. So, I will go through them all and get back to everybody on those. Enhanced town meeting packet.
97.5% of the way there.
Can we get a quick backstory for?
Okay. Probably 2 years ago, I think, Chris and I were sitting at a town meeting. And first of all, if you haven't been to town meeting, you get a lot of paper to wade through. You get a lot of different paper to wade through. And then you get a lot of stuff orally thrown at you during the meeting. This is what this article means. This is what it's going to cost. This is how the different committees voted.
They'll actually read the statement that you have in your booklet, but they'll have actual numbers in it where you have placeholders or no numbers. And so you're reading along with them, and then you get to a point where you're like, oh wait, no, they have a different paragraph to read that is different from what I'm reading. Very annoying.
They read the motion at town meeting, not the article. That's the difference.
Right, and you're reading the article, trying to keep up with it, and you're like, oh wait, no, this isn't actually what they're doing.
So we're sitting there saying there's got to be a better way. And I did a little bit of research on what some other towns, and Ware is really the model on this, where they create what we wind up calling an enhanced town meeting packet that has the warrant article, layperson's explanation of what the article means, it is, how the various committees voted on it, you know, finance, school, CBC, whatever it may be, and ideally budget numbers on it. So I've been working on this for about a year to try to implement it here. And this is the first time we're going to do it at this meeting. And it is going to incorporate the warrant article, explanatory text, how the committees voted, and that's it. That's as far as we've gotten this year on doing it's been a heavy lift getting here. It's one of those things, nobody's opposed to it. We had a meeting about a year ago, everybody's like, great idea, love it, let's do it. But there's a lot of moving parts, as I've discovered, putting all of this together. And I think at the select board meeting the other night, they were talking to Steve about why is this coming up so late? Why is it coming up to the wire? You know, so they're talking about having earlier deadlines and all that stuff, which we kind of pushed as part of this project too. Having earlier established deadlines that everybody has to have everything in. So it's not perfect. We realize that, but just the fact that it's being done, I think is a huge, big step this time around. They're talking now about having fall town meetings as a regular thing. So that'll be another chance to do it again, do it better, and also there'll be fewer articles on it to do. You know, so we can work out the bugs on this at a time. The other part of it too, and it's probably the bigger part, is we wanted this published before town meeting. So you don't walk in the door and get all this sort of stuff. Now, the warrant article does have to be published for the 2 weeks before town meeting.
It's available now.
And that's just the bare warrant articles, not those other ancillary material. We're hoping, shooting for Monday, possibly Tuesday, to have the enhanced town meeting packet available online. We're still waiting to hear back from town council on a few warrant articles, wording on that. There's one other issue, I forget what it was, but also Melissa is not in tomorrow. She's the one putting all this together, so she's not going to be here tomorrow. So it's going to slip to at least Monday before we can have it up and online and available for everybody.
How would we recognize it online?
That's what I got to talk to Kate about, is how we're going to publicize this, promote it,
Okay.
you know, where we're going to put it and all that sort of stuff.
So if we want to get it, if we want something in the Sentinel for next week, they have to have it tomorrow afternoon. Like, we have to be able to say, this is where you can find it on the web. And we can make that placeholder URL.
Right.
Because we know the paper's not going to get published on Thursday.
Okay, we talked about writing the press release. Do you want me to write it? Do you want to write it?
If you can write it, that would be fabulous.
Okay. I'll write it with press release.
But I can get it on social and everything else once you have that. You're gonna make the URL and everything else too?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It'd be a good one, Belchertown.org/town meeting packet.
Do we have a town meeting page?
It's within the clerk stuff, so you can't touch it.
Yeah, we don't want to go there.
Yep. There's there's certain departments that are very locked down about their departments and stuff online. Town meeting, 100% belongs to the town clerk. Town clerk does not want us anywhere near or data online. So, okay.
Oh, the other thing too, and where it really emphasizes too, it streamlined town meeting tremendously. Because there's a lot of discussion that goes on at town meeting. You know, they'll pass a $3.5 million school budget in a heartbeat, then they'll debate the $50,000 pickup truck for the DPW to death. And they're hoping by having this explanatory text in there, it'll cut down on all that discussion that takes place. Not that discussion's bad, but is it necessary to really box things down?
Although, did you say that the financials won't be in there?
Financials won't be in there.
Because I feel like that is the big one more than anything, is that everybody, especially last year, was complaining, like, we don't know the budget numbers on any of this, and yet we're approving here and now on those budget
Is that
numbers.
maybe why we got that information from Jill that we're still trying to figure out why she sent us? So Jill's the town accountant.
What information?
She put together the budget in an ADA format. And I was like, this is great, what am I doing with this? And she's like, I thought the communications committee needed it. So I sent it to Chris and I was like, hey, did you need this? And then he said, I don't know, did you need this?
You did?
For your enhanced,
And you said we didn't ask for it.
town meeting warrants? Because I was reading the warrants and there's money listed in the warrant already.
I don't see the warrant online. Are you looking at the?
I got it from the town office, yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Well,
well,
that's because we're setting up the recording of yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you did send it to me, I dropped the ball on that. And we're all recognized it's the first time we're doing it. So,
For sure.
you know, somebody's gonna screw it up and it's probably me.
Live and learn.
Yeah.
I thought she put the warrants out today.
But she was there.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I thought Terry put the warrants out today. I think,
She said she was going to.
yeah. I think we linked them to our
Oh.
select board coverage. But
I'm just looking in the meeting agenda center, it's not there yet, but it might actually be
Oh.
posted, just not linked to you.
Ed, this is on Tuesday, title is 3 budgets. And it was just a long list of. That might have been the one that you emailed me back though, so that you
Yeah,
didn't get an attachment. Now that I'm thinking about it. So that might have been my fault.
and you didn't resend it with an attachment.
So I'll resend that later, yeah. I've been out with my kids all week. I have been at the zoo, I have been across the state. So, and trying to manage things by email. Yes, all right, I will send that again.
Okay, so it wasn't the old guy that screwed up here.
Nope.
Well, all that aside, it's moving forward. I think it's gonna be a great thing. We're gonna, like I said, we'll work the bugs out for fall, get it even better. And it'll be interesting to see how it works. You know, I'm gonna be sitting there at town meeting, taking notes to see if it works or not.
You have time to refine it now that you've done it once. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
You'll have time to refine it now that you have done it once.
exactly. Hopefully it works. I mean, I'm really hoping.
I lived in Colorado for 20 years where we have all mail-in voting. We don't go and vote in person at all. And the state would send out before each election what they call the blue book,
Right.
which is exactly that. Here's the list of the actual language, here's plain text. They actually even did like a for and against, which was a bit controversial, and it was, like, if you vote yes, it means this. If you vote no, it means this. And I would sit down with that every time and read through the whole thing. It was super, super
I
helpful.
think our state does.
They do the same thing
Yeah,
here in this
yeah,
state.
yeah, but the town.
We'd actually talked about that. What does a yes vote mean, what's a no vote? And we're afraid of is introducing bias in the answers. So we said, let's not go there, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And once you guys see it, if you have further suggestions like that, as to what we can do to make it better, let me know. But, yeah. Okay. Any other questions on? Okay.
Town newsletter. I don't think we have a huge update.
No, very brief, we'll have another issue coming out May 1st. We will definitely include the enhanced meeting packet. That'd be great. Sounds like it'll definitely be ready by then. People,
Did you guys sign up for the Carriage Town Chronicle?
I think I need to, but I will.
All right, should. That's like, we're pushing it on everybody.
Have you signed up for the emergency notification
I have
system?
tried several times and it hasn't worked for me yet.
we should figure that out.
Talk to Kate.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry to go off.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'm just reporting, so the newsletter goes out once a month. And it just collects updates, announcements from departments, committees, and some local nonprofit orgs. For whatever reason, people seem to be submitting a little earlier this month, maybe because everybody's seeing next week being very
That's true.
busy. And just a sense of stats, because we report stats. So it might seem like we have less subscribers, but just to clarify numbers, we have a number of contacts, which is 645, 630 subscribers. So there's like 15 people who might have had the wrong email address, so they still count as a contact. Maybe 1 or 2 people have actually unsubscribed, but anyway, we have 630 subscribers, and last April's newsletter was once again 85% open rate. So, and that second email sent to people who don't open the first time kind of picks up a few people every time. So.
Is that, how many households do we have? 1,200 households?
I don't know households.
I thought there were 9,000 households in this town.
I don't know how many.
I actually asked that question in the communications, thing.
Oh, your
She
response,
listed,
yeah.
my responses, because she said, how many people live in town? I was like, that's great, but how many households do we have?
Yes.
It's in the American Community Survey. I think it's 6,204, I'm not sure.
Actually, don't play the lotto numbers, I think.
Just an idle number you picked out of the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
What was it called for?
6,126.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
What'd you say? What'd you say?
6,204.
You were wrong.
He just knows more people who've moved in since.
Yeah. How is the household question related to stuff or?
Number 6 signs, you're talking about
Oh,
sign
okay.
up. It's only how many households, so about 10% of the households have signed up, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Which means there's a lot of room for growth.
yeah, though some people are definitely within the same household. Because we all made our spouses. That's it.
Okay, cool. Any questions?
I have a comment for you on that.
Oh, boy.
No, Joanne stopped by my office today. She was just in the building and she was like, I know I sent in my thing to Allegra for the newsletter with 2 employees and everything else. She goes, but the article you wrote about Dustin was really nice and just tell her, like, she can use whatever she wants, whatever she feels is editorially best.
Okay,
And I was like, I'm gonna see her tonight at the meeting, so I will tell her that.
that's great. I saw that she mentioned that already now, so that's great.
Okay. I didn't know she mentioned it in the email.
Yes, I will. That's great. Thank you.
Okay, we are cruising. This might go as one of our fastest meetings yet, even with all these items we have.
You just drank some.
Right, well, yeah, Belchertown.org. Current ADA and design status, as well as any additional discussions. We do have big news.
We do, so we and everyone else has another year to become accessible.
Oh, really?
Yay.
Really?
Yeah, really.
2028.
2028 for us, they released it on Monday. So that's like super huge news.
Throw out some backstory.
Throw out some backstory.
ADA and whatever you want.
Pretty sure the website has to be ADA compliant.
So all digital media has to be ADA compliant. I guess it's been on law since, what did you say, 1990?
Yeah, I don't know if this is
80 or something.
100% accurate, but I looked it up, like when was the deadline set? And a quick answer from Google, which again, AI, who knows if that's actually accurate, but I wasn't spending more time on it, said that the ADA laws were passed in 1990. So we have had since then to get our website compliant.
Okay, at that time, I don't think.
Little laws now?
Yeah, there's lots of laws.
Yes.
I don't think it was.
There's the physical building stuff, but the digital ones?
Oh, yes.
Because
That
I was
wasn't-
just diving deeper into it for us today, and not today, all week, general theme. But I just can't help but wonder, like, why are screen reading technology changes? Is it not significantly better than when they wrote the regulations?
So what's the question, Esther? I'm not sure.
No question. Sorry.
Okay.
Just a statement.
So,
Just it's crazy. The regulations, the detail, crazy.
yeah, it's a lot of work. Like, people don't, so you have to like meet certain accessibility requirements. And it has to do with the way that the text is written. It has to be written in plain English. It has to be written for, like, 8th to 9th grade reading level. You can't use acronyms. Everybody has to use the same abbreviations for AM, PM, like repeatable information, so they have all the web pages the same. There's, just a lot of stuff we have to do. All the PDF documents, unless they're living in an archive, they have to be fully accessible. And social media has to be accessible. You have to have your own images on your social media. You can't use too many emojis. You have to make sure you're writing appropriately.
In some
So, yeah,
places
we got
you can use a sans serif, in some places you can't.
Yes, you're right. There are some places you can use certain types of fonts and other places you can't. You have to have the visual contrast between your colors with your designs.
I have a little history that I
Perfect.
pull up. Again, this is a Google quick AI response, but key digital accessibility milestones. So 1990, the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, signed into law. In 96, the Department of Justice confirmed that the ADA applies to the internet. So that's when they said, all right, this has to be
Which
done.
makes sense, because that's why bigger municipalities have until 2026, because that would have been 30 years to do it.
So there are more dates. 98, Section 508 of the Rehabilitation Act is amended to require federal agencies to make electronic and information technology accessible. So 2 years later. However, it wasn't until April of 2024 that the Department of Justice publishes a new rule specifically requiring state and local governments to meet WCAG standards for websites and apps. So the federal government has been on the hook for the last 30 or so years, but they have not pushed that down to the states until 2024.
Talk about moving at the speed of government.
Yes.
So they had 30 years when everyone else gets stick.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So yeah, it was for a town of our size and population, we have until 2027. A lot of other, like Boston was 2026. And then recently, last week, they pushed the 2027 deadline to 2028 to give us more time.
Which really is reasonable.
It's helpful. It's kicking the can. In my view, like I've been learning about ADA and WCAG adherence for like, I think 20 years now.
Okay.
That like this stuff has been required for governments, at least on a federal level.
Yeah.
So, in my point of view, this should have been done. But
Well,
I do understand that like there's a lot that goes into it.
So we have another year, we have the tactical plan.
I was gonna say, it's gonna take you a year or better just to get this done, right?
Oh, yeah, it was a stretch to be able to get it done. Like, you know, we had past meetings, right, where we were talking about like just having like days and finding volunteers where people could just go and make documents compliant and stuff like that too. I will say also in the last 2 weeks, I learned that you can take Claude and train it to make your documents accessible for you, and then you can batch do that. So you can train it on the rules and double checking it and using a tool called PAC, which came out from Web AIM, which really checks the document for accessibility beyond what Adobe Acrobat is checking and looking at. So that's like gonna be huge to do it, but it'll come at a cost because you only have so many generative credits you can use. And when you're batch doing things, you're blowing through that stuff really fast. But that's an option aside from doing them all manually by hand. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, the craziest part on my end is trying to retrain anyone who makes stuff for us to adjust their graphics. I was thinking you could do it through cheat sheets, like we would have a number of here's the regulations, etc. There's so many of them. Anytime that I talk to someone about this, they're like, well, there's a checker you can use, whatever. It's like, make it so you won't need the checker. It's impossible.
No, you definitely need to use certain checkers, like color contrast, you cannot eyeball.
Yeah.
You really gotta run that through
Yeah.
online checkers.
So there's catching stuff up, but then there's training anyone who makes stuff so you're not redoing their work constantly.
Correct.
That would be me.
And
Yeah,
anyone
and
who makes stuff for us. Like,
And we've had like, we being I have had a couple training sessions more in the winter. A couple in December and then one in January where people came in and we did trainings on how to best do this. But all that stuff kind of like took the back burner working on the annual report. And the crazy thing with the training though was I felt like you're telling people like, here's what you have to do. Don't feel overwhelmed, but at the same time, like be cognizant of what's going on and start taking steps. So that way, when the time comes, you've been implementing, you know, making yourself better as you go every time, and it doesn't feel like a shock to the system.
Part of my job is writing alt text and doing read to me, and it's an art form. You can't set strict guidelines because we just have to
Yeah, and I think like that's part of the hard side too, is everybody thinks like I can get Canva and I can create graphics and I can just post on social media because I'm a front end social media user, and you don't realize like all the steps behind it.
Yes.
But once you kind of get into that stuff and you slowly get yourself there, especially if you're, within a department and you're posting, it's gonna get easier over time once you build it into your routines.
Yeah, the accessibility of Canva is a thing that's huge in terms of the ability to create designs is so easy now. The ability to create designs that don't comply is also so easy.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the articles that Terry posted to scan.
Yes.
Scan. I don't know when, it's on our website.
I only saw the special meeting.
The full one's up. And it's a scan with perfect pages too. So it didn't feed clean, but it's a scan.
That's an argument we've been having with the town back and forth, is that a lot of time they post PDFs, but they will print the document in order to scan it back in as a PDF and then upload it that way. That's the exact same response we all had. And in fact, when we complained about this and tried to get IT involved, IT's solution to assist everybody was to get desktop scanners with OCR readers, so that when they scanned it in, it would be scanned in not as a picture, but as a readable PDF. But it's like, well, why don't you just save as PDF from the original Word document? That's far faster and doesn't cost the price of a scanner on every desk.
Yeah, but I don't get those other two steps.
You don't get a free scanner either. Yeah. So that's been a thing that we've had to discuss previously.
Multiple times over.
And it's still happening. So
We'll just keep fighting the good fight.
For the fall town meeting, we'll start the.
yeah, I mean, I'm getting to the point where like, do we write warrant articles and just be like, the town has to provide fully ADA compliant PDFs? Like,
Well, that was something that Ed and I were talking about yesterday when he swung by the office, was that the warrant articles weren't written ADA compliant. So like there's charts and everything in there, and the charts themselves weren't created with compliance in mind. So they have blank cells and merge cells and all this other stuff that you can't do.
I mean, we'll use the fall as the opportunity to fix this.
And we'll have to start prepping in June with like training sessions on how to create these documents and feeding people videos and reminding them to watch these videos and learn how to use Word appropriately so you can create these things correctly. Because you have to start at the beginning. You start at the beginning and you make it clean to begin with. It'll be easier for everybody at the end.
Could you ask an AI bot to say, write this ADA compliant?
it depends on how complex you want to get.
Okay.
Right? Once you start getting into tables and graphs, it'll probably fail.
But
It might not, right?
Okay.
I kind of feel like someone who scans it, prints and then scans it
I
out,
know.
is probably not going to be using AI.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And that's all the update I have on the website, unless
That's
anyone has any
code.
questions.
We have everybody HTML, yeah. Okay. Any questions, comments? Okay. I am gonna move back up to the top and I'm going to say our select board liaison, John, is not here. So, that's done and done. We're gonna pass on that now. Yep. Then I'm gonna go with the BCTV manager and we're gonna do issue 7 last as he ends. So, Esther, you are up. No getting out of it now.
Okay, my phone just died, so I don't have my notes next to. Oh, okay, they're coming back. Okay, so we were nervous about our peg check coming in for the last time in time for town meeting. It just came in, so that's good. But it is 20,000 less than last year. Could be better, could be worse. Coincidentally, because the town pays my benefits, I had my benefits in our budget when I had our budget passed because it's too late to change. So coincidentally, we're fine for this fiscal year. I didn't have to reduce things based on that check, but
I guess I'm just gonna say that when Mark and I worked on the progression, we knew that we were gonna be
Yes.
losing subscribers consistently over the next 5 or 6 years, unfortunately.
yep. I look at that document. That work you guys did was really helpful. I look at it a lot.
Good, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, continually planning for that, learning how if we operate on a surplus, which I did last year, probably will this year too, goes into an account, it'll need to get, we'd have to have a warrant article to have it voted back in. But that's fine. So yeah, that's budgets. ADA compliance, have been working harder on that, getting serious about it. And
I appreciate that.
yeah, realizing graphics, it's like, again, like 70% of pre-made templates on Canva are not compliant. So yeah, changing graphics that we had in the works. We have candidates night coming up on May 1st. We can tell you about that.
Okay,
That just went out. Yeah,
would you let me do that now?
go ahead.
Okay, so for the past 30 years, BCTV has been running a candidates night because there's not a whole lot of media in town in terms of newspapers, radio stations. So we've invited all the candidates who are running for office this year to come in on May 1st. If you're unopposed, you get 3 minutes to stand up and plead your case, if you will. And if you are opposed, you get 3 minutes to talk, and then we do a Q&A for 20 minutes, and then they get a little summation. And this is just a way to get people in town familiar with who the candidates are. We will go live with it, we will broadcast it, and it will show up on YouTube between May 2nd and the election. That's
Yeah.
candidates night
What time is it?
at 7 p.m.
Yeah, and we're gonna
Are
have
people allowed to go and watch?
Sorry?
Are people allowed to go and watch?
Yes. You're allowed to ask, you're allowed to write questions for the candidates also. There will be a select board, there are 2 candidates, both of them are appearing. There are 3 candidates for 2 positions on the school board, but so far none of the school board candidates have indicated they're gonna show up.
okay.
Is it a select board,
I'm sorry?
select board room?
Yes.
And we're gonna shoot it in a couple different formats. So it'll be on YouTube, it'll be in long form of shorter clip, and we're gonna shoot it in vertical also for social media clips.
You're gonna shoot it that night, right, Esther?
When it's scheduled, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Where can we submit questions?
To me. Okay. Or you can, or Channel 5 at belchertown.org or whatever, but just send it to me via email. Lorraine.
Is there like a Lorraine at AOL? I was gonna say, is there like a generic email address you could say in a public meeting that?
Yes, Lorraine, that's the one I use, Lorraine at AOL.L, LOURAINE@AOL.com. I'm an initial email guy.
Just a reminder that, you should probably get a press release over to Turley tomorrow. So it'll run in the paper on Thursday the 30th, so people have a heads up about that.
You're talking about?
I'm talking to
Candidates night?
Esther, yeah,
Okay,
about
okay.
candidates night.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm done, Esther.
Okay. So that's exciting. On a national level, there's been this piece of legislation that was going to go before the Rules Committee this week, called the Broadband Deployment Act of 2025, which sounds like a great thing, but it's not. It would allow all the cable companies to cancel their franchise agreements and sell the channels that we have. So that's spooky. It was on their agenda, but they postponed it. So there was a hearing and a vote, and the hearing didn't happen. So I don't know if postpone means like could be a year or could be next week. But yeah, that's going on in the background. That would be a big thing.
That's scary.
So this would be essentially the cancellation of all the like PEG channels?
Yep.
That'd be terrific. Okay.
Yeah.
There's also, there's legislation moving through the state to tax the streaming services.
Yeah.
What
Yes.
happened to that? Yes, what happened to that?
I think it's waiting on the Ways and Means Committee's list of things.
Okay.
It's my understanding things sit there for a while. It's kind of,
It's been moving really slow for years now.
yeah. And Minnesota passed a funding model in the past year where they use broadband franchise fees instead of cable franchise free. Yeah. A couple of the station managers are looking into that from Massachusetts, talking to some lawyers, see what they think. But yeah, that's a quiet project. And we had another monthly regionalization local TV station meeting. We are working on formalizing an organization to work together to share resources and employees. I just joined the fiscal sponsorship committee for that. So figuring out that structure. And that's what I have for the week.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say, we're also taking the warrant articles on May 4 and 5. And BCTV will be playing them, and they'll show up on YouTube also. So Lisa will read the warrant articles for the town. Dan Bodett will read the warrant articles for the planning board, and then when Jim Nadel shows up, we'll do the CPC warrant articles. Yet another thing we've been doing for years.
Esther, just because it's an abbreviation that we commonly use, but we have new members, can you just explain real quick what PEG is?
Yes. Yes, PEG stands for Public Education Government. Those are the 3 TV channels that we get from the cable provider in the area. They're required to fund it for the public good. That's where currently our entire funding comes from, PEG franchise fees. We're looking for into the future how to change that and find new sources too, but
It's what, like a 10-year contract?
Yeah.
That gives us what, like 7% of all cable sales?
4.5% of the gross cable TV subscribers only. So not anybody who's doing the internet or who's doing phone service.
yeah. And I think it's 3%. I could be wrong.
I negotiated at 4.5%.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So if you're only getting 3, they owe you 1.5%.
Haven't checked.
Yeah, so that's the thing, that as subscribers leave cable, as cord cutting happens, the town gets less money. So, at least for the TV stations.
Yeah.
And so that's the projection that Lou and Mark did and talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark noticed a trend, and he just worked it out over the years, and there was a breaking point about 5 years down the road or 7 years down the road, something like that, where, there would be no profit and we'll just barely stay alive.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, there is some point at which there might be a plateau. It's not like everyone is getting rid of cable altogether, but we'll see. The good news about Massachusetts is there's a lot of people in the state who care about this. There's a lot of legislators. A lot of things are happening behind the scenes to try to keep our stations alive.
Good. And it sounds like you're really on top of it, which I wasn't, so that's really great.
It's new,
Any other questions, comments, concerns for BCTV with Esther? All right. Katie, you're up.
The annual report is going to be done tomorrow.
Hey! Where's the annual report? Real quick.
What is the annual report? It's a document that every municipality, at least in Massachusetts, puts out saying, here's all the awesome and unawesome things that we did in the last year. And lets people know about the community. All the departments and all the committees report, and we put it all into one big document and we share it.
And Kate has done a dramatic job of revamping it this year compared to what it's been in the past. It's remarkable.
It's more online than in print.
Oh, no, it's fully in print.
Oh, it's fully in print?
It'll be online too, but it's
Okay.
fully in print.
Okay.
I'm going through, I finished the table of contents today. I'm waiting on notes back from accounting just to make sure that all of their numbers were confirmed. And I got halfway through the photo credit section today as well too. I already put together an alphabetical indices so people can go to the back of the book and find everybody alphabetical order. I just gotta add that in. I'm gonna print a draft copy tomorrow to make sure my margins line up with our comb binder.
And it's pictures on the cover, right?
As pictures on the cover, I sent Ed 4 cover options earlier this week. That would be good. I
It's
sent,
still kind of
The
fit, but
picture I took is on the cover.
Okay, okay.
I think it would work either way. I mean, you're around enough. Yeah.
yeah, I sent Ed 4 cover suggestions with his picture, and I said, which one do you want?
Thank you.
He picked one, we're going with that, and then I came back to him and I said, Ed, give me a fun name for this, and he's like, I'm not creative. And I was like, dude. So yeah, that is gonna be done tomorrow, super exciting about that, then we'll be able to kind of shift focus on more things. The town is in the middle of an ADA survey, mostly looking at our physical properties, but a big lift in communications for that is getting people to actually fill out and take the survey. We had 9 responses 2 weeks ago on Friday. I put together a new push this week with individualized content for social media channels for each of the departments and asked them to push it out. Most of them have done that, but that increased, we're up to 31 responses as of this afternoon. So we had quite a nice jump in there. Ideally, we'd like to see that number get higher. The more people we reach, the better. Signs were printed. Paul was gonna hang them up around town. Double check with him on that. There are paper copies of the surveys if people would like to get them. You can pick them up at the library or the senior center. And you can also find links to the survey on our website in the newsflash section, as well as on the town's social media page. So focus on, sorry, the Adobe thing on the screen, you know, flew by, I got distracted. Then we're gonna start pushing out our content for town meetings more. We've been pushing save the dates, but we're really gonna get into more of the education pieces. We'll have the warrant article stuff, we'll have the candidate night stuff, we'll have all the different pieces, that's elections, obviously not town meeting, but we'll have all the different pieces to start pushing in and educating more on that.
Mentioning the articles too, back to that. They won't be printing the articles for distribution at the town meeting. They're gonna print the enhanced packet instead. So that's the only document that's gonna relate to the warrant articles.
Isn't Esther running her town moderator graphic also?
I did put out the video that her and Ben did again.
Yeah.
Recently, I have to share that more. And that's kind of it. So the focus was really on getting that report done.
I'll throw this out as a comment to just everybody again, and then to our new folks. 9/31 responses out of a town of, what is it, 17?
No,
15,000 people is typically the average response we get. We have, as our committee, I think we hit the biggest number I've seen in the last 5 years, which is over 300 responses. We sometimes get 100. So 30 is like, okay, we should get more, but like, that's how well people actually respond to things in town.
And the fear is making decisions based on that. You know, because it's a self-selected survey, it's not random, it's such a small subset. It's useful information. But
This survey in particular is really looking for people to provide feedback as to what accessibility challenges they've had in the town and whether or not you've had any. So if you've had none, you can take a survey and say, I haven't had any, but it's super helpful to have people write back, especially those that are, different abilities, to be able to write and say, this is where I encountered problems. And it is just 6 questions.
Okay.
I'm gonna plug the survey.
Yep.
So the American Community Survey provides, you may already know this, they provide information on those who are in various accessibility categories. So you can actually get numbers. They're revised every year as estimates, and then of course every 10 years based on the US survey.
Yeah, so we're working with, what is the name of the company that is doing this survey? They're doing a whole overhaul. They came in, they walked around town hall measuring things and what have you. They've been measuring sidewalks, going into the schools. So it's KMA Architecture and Accessibility. This is like what they do.
Is this a grant funded project?
It is a grant funded project, yes.
Well, we know the sidewalks aren't ADA compliant. Some of the doors probably aren't ADA compliant. Well,
Who gets the results?
Well, they'll be the town's property, so anybody can request them when they
It'd
come
be
in.
nice to get them and to be able to discuss what
For
we're
sure.
seeing.
Especially if there's notes within the survey results. Emmanuel shares them with Paul, who's our ADA coordinator for the town, and myself weekly.
Great.
So we'll be able to look at those and see if we're missing anything communication wise.
Are there any, I have no idea, disability active groups or anything that would help get the word out on this survey being available?
I was a town committee. I don't know if it's.
The committee's been dissolved.
Yeah, that's it, okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything specifically.
The only thing I could think of, I know sometimes people send out information about stuff going on through the library. So potentially that or the rec department, maybe somewhere through there might be some avenue, but I'm not sure what that would look like.
We've also seen, one topic that's come up, I don't think it's so bad right now, is survey fatigue in town as well. Just the amount of surveys that go out for everything, that people are like done with it. But yeah, I think this is a good one. Can we find that link you said on social and on the website?
Yeah, you can find it on our website. There's a news flash on it right on the homepage. And then it's been posted in social. You can find it on our page. I know the police department posted it. It's been on the library's page.
I think I've probably seen it 4 or 5 times come through this.
So I don't even have any questions for him. Otherwise, that is my update. Nope. Fabulous.
All right. Bring it back around. Jonah, any questions for us?
I don't think I have any additional questions that I haven't already said during the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about us?
All right.
He doesn't know us yet.
But in this brief introduction, he's still okay.
Can I ask, because we asked Robin to introduce herself, do you mind giving, we all read your letter, I think, but just tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
yourself,
so-
your interests, that'd be great.
I'm Jonah. I am 23, so I know I'm going to be fairly young for, committees and stuff like
I don't
that.
know, we're welcome.
But I have been kind of looking for ways to get involved in kind of local action and local help for my community and the people around me. And so this was one that was recommended to me when I was talking to my family about it as one of the places I could potentially look. And so I was reading through the, website online of what we've done. I have a background in technology and an interest in communication and just making sure people know what's going on. And so I thought I wanted to be there to help with this.
You twished over scanned PDF files. So.
So you're convinced.
You understand what that is? Well,
I spent a few years in IT.
My condolences.
Is it worth introducing ourselves again, so that way Robin and Jonah know who we are and what our backgrounds are?
We absolutely do that.
Yeah, so we used to do that.
Yeah, we did.
So when the three of us joined together, we did that. And we went around and we presented brief bios. But the most important thing we did was talk about our strengths and things we didn't want to do. And then we took all that information and put it in a memo.
A written form.
So anyone could see what we can do and can't do. And I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, we did that, well, we did the intros, and then we did the email, we did through email, with everybody wrote
Yes.
a bio, so you guys can see it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
bios. Yeah.
Maybe not something terrible to put online. That people aren't opposed to it, not like,
Oh, wow, I'm bringing them out.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. I found your story particularly fascinating. Yeah. So it's Mark, Charlotte,
Yeah.
I guess Ed, and myself. I guess I don't have Chris's. I don't know for some reason.
You carry that
That's
around for light reading?
Huh?
You carry that around for light reading?
You know, I'm not really a pack rat, but some things just don't get thrown away. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
all right. Yeah, well, we can go around the table, and just do light introductions, and we're all here, which is great. So, I guess I will start. Chris Martin, I moved to Belchertown, my dates, I'm terrible with dates. Had to have been about 5.5 years ago because my daughter was just born. Close to 6 years at this point. And moved in like right at the peak of COVID. And where I thought I would move into town and get to know everybody and move around, suddenly I was locked in. And from my previous residence in Lynn, I knew that you had to go online and check out all of the government stuff because they're not going to let you know that you have to go to the water department and declare yourself. Otherwise, they'll look for you after a year and say your water's turned off. So I went to the town website to figure these things out, and it was awful. You couldn't find anything. It was just horrific. And my background is that during the app boom, I was a designer in applications. Moved from, and before that I was in publishing with the UMass, the Collegian, and worked at various newspapers in the area, the Gazette and whatnot, interning and whatnot. So did app design, then moved into quality assurance, then moved into online web quality assurance, learned about UI, learned about project management, moved my way. I'm now at a company called kingscrab.com. It's a startup that does their own thing, and I'm an operations manager there. So I am very deeply ingrained in, just like online stuff. And I've done ADA compliance training at the Newton School for the Blind. So I've been very involved in a lot of that stuff. Spent some years at Hill Holiday, an advertising agency in Boston, where, compliance on ADA and stuff like that is very important. So yeah, when I came to town, saw how bad the website was, I said, I have to help and do something about this. Ended up joining the communications committee at the same time as Lou and one other individual, and they both got their finger to their nose first to say they were not going to be the chair, and so I have been chair ever since. And that's my story.
You were the natural leader of that board.
That's right. You did a great job.
Yeah.
Well done, Chris.
Reminding everybody once again, voting coming up in June. I don't mind doing it, but yeah, it is extra work.
Okay, I'll go.
Go ahead.
So I worked at UMass for 30 plus years at the Fine Arts Center. I started off as a stagehand, stage manager, and ended up as running the place. I was the director of operations there. So to say that my worldview is colored by my theater ethic is absolutely true. The curtain goes up at 8 o'clock. Work starts at 8. You show up at 8. You're late. So my jobs have a beginning, a middle, and an end. You know what they are. You do them. and you stay until this job is done. You don't work 9 to 5. So that's my work ethic. I retired in 2011, and then I had been working at Belchertown Community TV for a while, and ended up being the station manager there for 30 years. I left, how many years ago, Esther? 2, 3? Anyway, I left 2 or 3 years ago, and they hired Esther, and Esther has been an absolute gem and has taken places I never could, and it's absolutely wonderful. So that's who I am.
He's also our hometown hero recipient for 2025.
Oh,
You,
that's true. I was, yeah. That was, yeah.
don't be.
No, I mean, Peg and
And how much?
they sandbagged me. They really did a good job.
You're officially honest, yeah.
I'm open, one meeting ahead of you. So, I grew up in Eastern Mass, came to UMass to do my undergrad, actually lived in Belchertown for a year during my undergrad, so 1996 to 1997, I think I lived in town. Moved away for about 25 years, and I just moved back about 3 years ago. Moved in. I have kids, but they're adults, so when we moved here, I had no network. A lot of people have kids in school systems, and that's how they get to know the town. I had none of that. So I kind of spent the last 3 years trying to figure out what I wanted to do to keep myself busy now that my kids are adults. I went to the community summit, and actually talked to Ed and a bunch of other people, and thought that this is something that might be interesting, so I do that. I work in publishing. I've been in publishing for about 15 years. I'm an editorial project manager. So I've worked with the editorial team. Technically, I'm an editor, but I do a lot more project management. So I am the one who gets things done one way or another. I make the documents pretty. I get them online. So I'm writing alt text. I'm working with our IT team on the tag. And I don't do the work myself. I know it needs to get done. I know that you don't scan a PDF and put it up online. That happened. So that's a lot. I work in children's literacy, so I know why you break lines at certain parts in books.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Excited.
I'm Mark Sparrow, and I was a vice president in Hampshire many years ago, and nothing to do with closing.
You plant the seed.
Nothing. Before that, I was vice president at Colgate University. Before that, dean at Cornell. That's where I went to graduate school, and where I studied economics and statistics. And did a lot of programming. So, and then over the years, I've been responsible for the largest kind of projects, things like accreditation of the university and building research centers and things on that kind of scale. And I like doing it. I like putting large projects together. I worked in a number of social service agencies as a volunteer. I worked in suicide prevention for many years. And then I ran that board for a while, started a foundation there for that board. This was in Tompkins County, near where Cornell is located. And we've been here since 2008. That's all I have.
You're also our wordsmith.
What?
You're our wordsmith.
Sometimes. As needed.
And excellent at research.
Thank you.
Very good.
I'm Ed Kmout. I moved here in 1999 with our family. 2 young kids at the time, so they went through the school system. They're gone, so we are now empty nesters. When I moved here in 99, I started my own company focusing on technical writing, where we didn't really do as much technical writing as creating websites, managing websites. I did a lot of digital media, video, a lot of photography. I moved away from the video stuff Still do dabble in that a little bit. Winding down my career and kind of shedding clients on a regular basis. Start slowing down here. That's really it.
Photographer.
Dark. But that's my fun stuff.
And as far as suppression stuff is really interesting. I mean, going around the world doing research that you did, it's really interesting.
Before we moved here, I was the chief fire investigator for the National Fire Protection Association in Quincy. And yeah, I got to go to very cool incidents all around the world investigating them. That's where I got my writing skills, really, is writing the technical reports we had to do. The Oklahoma City bombing, English Channel Tunnel fire, the Wichita earthquake. Fascinating stuff, but the trouble was, it was all last minute travel, and we had 2 very young children. My wife is a saint, but it just wasn't a good lifestyle. I literally had to go from work to the airport. I had a bag in my car. So there are times I just, and it was a great job, loved it. I just couldn't keep the pace up.
I'm Allegra Giovine, Giovine, if you want to say it the Italian way, but we have Americanized it for a few generations. I moved here in 2020, also during the pandemic when things were still closed. And I definitely was looking for ways to connect because I don't have any family or friends in Massachusetts. I was moving from New York State from the Ithaca area. So I joined this committee, I think about 2 years ago now. And at the time that I moved here, I was sort of transitioning from PhD research. I was doing history. And I was kind of moving into the libraries because I really like working with archives, being on the archivist side of it. And since moving here, actually, to some extent, through this committee, I've gotten involved with local archives in Belchertown at the Stonehouse Museum. I also work up at Pelham. The library has the archives for Pelham. And I'm connected to a number of historical societies working on things related to normal archives work, but also collections databases and inventorying what's there and making it kind of more modernized for these small institutions that might not have that data in good shape. So, yeah.
You said history. What kind of history are you interested in?
So now that I live here, it's a lot of local history, American history, New England history. I've been very involved in a few projects related to Revolutionary War stuff because it's relevant with the semi-quincentennial. Prior to this, I was doing totally different research on early 20th, late 19th century colonial Burma. So I have learned a lot of things about the history of this country and this region, and specifically this locality, the Quabbin, everything that's happened here. And it's amazing, and I love it. So if you want to talk about it, great. Or see the archives ready.
My degree is actually in archaeology.
Oh,
So
great.
I've done a lot of them.
Oh, and I do have, I'm connected to a few academic projects where I do a bunch of editorial stuff. And so I like editing. Kate knows I like editing. You all probably know if I do the feedback. So I like that too. And yeah, I feel like this committee is a good match for all those things, information. Yeah.
Why don't you go, Esther?
Oh boy, okay. I'm glad we're doing this. I've learned a lot of things. Jonah, we've met. I'm psyched to have you join us. Yeah, I'm the BCTV manager. I've been here for a year and some change now, taking over from you, having had the station for 30 years. I am an ex officio member like Kate, so we don't vote. We're just here to give input and information, etc. Yeah, grew up in Greenfield, did community TV stuff as a teenager, went to film school, came back, did some stuff in advertising, ended up at the news station, and then I missed community TV, so I went looking to come back, and I'm very happy here. Yeah, we operate as a town department. That's worth knowing. So yeah, not a random organization. It's relevant here. That's it.
So I'm Kate Nato, communications manager for Belchertown. We have been in town since 2009. Appreciate everyone filling out their facts. So I can do a little math in my head here. I spent 25 years working in industrial engineering space. My degree is in civil engineering. And then I went into project management there. And then I moved into marketing after taking some classes at Cornell. Shout out to Cornell. Joined the communications committee sometime after the pandemic. They were looking for volunteers. My family is very volunteer oriented. Started doing it at a young age. My kids are 22 to 1. So we have a full house. Stepped off the committee for a while, and then I came back as an ex officio member in this position. Esther and I started on the same day, December 16th in 2024.
All right.
Can I ask a good question? How many of you have taken the Myers-Briggs test?
As well as a handful of others.
Oh, we
Just, yeah.
But hands again, please.
I wouldn't know.
Okay, thank you.
So random. Wait, say more.
Is that a personality question or?
It is.
It is, yeah.
Not the question, the test.
Okay.
I was just wondering whether it'd be worth, and I wondered this a lot when I joined the organizations, is it worth giving the test and then having people do a brief overview of their personality strengths and weaknesses and choices and so forth. Anyway, just something I use it for.
I will say my wife, who is an HR specialist, runs co-runs an HR business right now, does not care for Myers-Briggs because it is pseudoscience. So
Yeah, I'm just looking at it now and saying, hey.
yeah. But it's fun if you get your results and you go, oh, okay, that explains some stuff. But it tries to bucket everybody where I don't think everybody fits the bucket.
Yeah.
And there are, like I said, there are many other variations of it that have come up. Not to, but I think that would be something interesting that maybe if we're interested in doing it, kick the idea around an email. So,
Okay.
because I don't have the idea of doing updated bios as
Yes.
well.
And the other thing that we discussed many years ago, now 2 years ago, I guess, was whether or not we asked the question, how much time can you invest in this work? That was important, because the answers really vary. And I'd like to know how much time people can invest in our work. We don't have to do it tonight, but it's an important question.
So when I was at the community summit, I said it on the volunteer table, and that was one thing I brought up, is that everybody asks volunteers, but they don't say what kind of investment they need.
Yeah.
Do you need someone who's gonna be there, once a week for an hour, or you need somebody who's gonna be there every occasional,
Yeah.
Sunday for an hour?
Yeah.
It's a huge
I would say,
barrier to participation, is not knowing how much you might need to invest.
well, for Chris, this is their second job.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels it.
Mark gets trapped in writing things for weeks at a time.
I will state though, as the.
And I don't know how much time Allegra puts in on the newsletter, but it's gotta be.
It's all crunched within the same 3 days of the month.
Yeah. So I'll say as chair that, and we will get to the votes, we'll get back to you eventually. This is taking a wild turn. We're volunteers, right? And we take pride in the fact that this is a committee that gets stuff done. Great that you brought it up in your statement about yourself, that you get stuff done, because that's been Ed's unofficial motto for this committee for years now. We take pride in that fact that we do meet twice a month. We do work on bigger projects, policies, things like that. We get them done, get them approved. We were the first committee ever to go before the board and change our charge because we didn't think it was fitting us correctly, and it was written years before it needed to be updated. They're like, okay, great. And like, we were the first committee to give an update on how we were doing for the last year, and they're like, nobody's ever stood before us and told us how they're doing. So we're a little more progressive and a little more active in those things. All of that said, we're volunteers, and sometimes we have stuff going on. Our own personal lives fluctuate, and time comes, time goes. You know, over the last week, I've been with my kids because it's been, you know, the April break, so like nothing is getting done in my house, right? And the same thing with my volunteer work. It's not happening. But other times, I'll just crunch out a whole bunch of work and help out with things. I think the same goes for sort of everybody here, to various degrees. You know, what are we looking for time and effort and whatnot? It's, you know, whatever you can provide, you know, in that 2-week stretch. There's plenty of stuff that we've gone through here where it's been like, here's a quick update, but honestly, nothing happened. That's fine, right? We're not gonna be upset if that's the case. We are gonna put a little pressure, be like, all right, we've been working on this for a year, let's get it done. But it's, or, you know, when we do have like a town meeting is happening and we want this to get done, there is a little bit of pressure, but we kind of, that's when we know we're jumping on a project that we know we have to put pressure on, and that's understood at the beginning of the project that you are now in it. So if you're afraid of that, just don't volunteer for it. And we'll find other stuff. But yeah, so I think it's worth just making that statement aloud that like it's whatever amount of time you can provide, then that's fine.
I mean, one of our biggest problems, and keep talking to Chris about this, is we all have great ideas, and we all have stuff that we want to get done, and this will change the world sort of stuff. But we don't have a limited amount of time. It's like Chris says, we're all volunteers, except for, you know, Kate and Esther, but even so, they have limited time too. And it becomes a real time management issue of, okay, how much can we take on? And even with each project, it gets project creep, just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's a challenge because we all are kind of type A personalities around this table. Want to
It's
get it
really
done.
interesting how many of us were project managers.
Yeah. And advertising. All right, so we scared you away.
No.
Excellent. Should we vote?
You need to make a motion?
I don't think I can vote. I can't motion as chair, right? Other people have to motion, and then I approve
I
it.
move that we accept Jonah, Noah, as our newest member of the communications committee.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, welcome aboard. I guess all those against? This does fill up the last seat we have. We do have another candidate, but that's okay. We have the sub seats that we can have. They just won't be voting, that's fine. As far as things go for you, is I will submit the approval to the town manager tonight, tomorrow, letting them know that we've had the vote and that you're in. It'll be until June 30th of 2025, or 2026 rather than presenting for another year. And they will send you further instructions. You probably know the process better than I do at this point.
You'll get a link to an hour-long training on ethics, and then you'll get the open meeting law that you have to sign the back of it. And then she told me, here's your letter, sign it and mail it back to me or come in.
Okay.
And I took the sign it, mail it in option, and apparently that was not the option.
Okay, so that's.
It might be.
I might show up tomorrow with the yellow card, I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's the conflict of interest that you did.
It's just a little, you know, here's your
The ethics training,
appointment.
yeah.
The ethics training, yeah, that's an hour long online thing.
Okay.
And then, so you submit that, you submit the open law, whole thing that you sign it, you sign it.
Yeah.
I agree with the
Yeah.
person statement.
I mean, you have family that
Yeah.
in town stuff, so you know all those things. But yeah, this is the yellow card you get. It's stamped by the town and everything, and signed by the town clerk. And once you have this, you are, right? That's my, like, once you have this, you're fully official.
It's your yellow ticket.
Pardon me. And that means you can vote, so until that gets done, just abstain or just don't, not included. But yeah, so you have to vote. Sooner you get it done, the sooner you can vote. Until then, I think you wanna jump on board with anything and throw your hat in the ring with any of the projects, just make it known, and I think we can start opening up some of the work to you. This for you as well, if there's anything that you're interested in, let us know.
Did I hear you say we have an associate position available to us?
Everybody does, all committees, they have the voting members. Yeah, so you are allowed a certain number of chairs, right? Some committees have 3. When we started, we had 9. We have 7. Half of your members is your quorum, so rounding up, so half of 7, round up to 4. So if we have 4 people present, it has to be reported with an agenda. Has to be, if 4 people meet together at the town fair and start talking about communications, you are breaking the law.
48 hours notice, a meeting?
There's 48 hours notice, the town requires 72.
Oh, really?
Just to help make sure things get up on time. If you break those rules, there are certain fines and things like that you can go through. It has not happened. It does include digital work as well, so emails, things like that. We are allowed to discuss meeting times. We are allowed to discuss agenda, like what is on the agenda in emails and text or whatever discussions. Those things are open. We're allowed to.
Don't get reply all.
Yeah, we're allowed to discuss things that have nothing to do with communications as a group, right? That I don't know what we would, but like if we
could all take the test. The personality test.
The Myers-Briggs, that has nothing to do with communications. We could all share those results and have a big conversation about it. That doesn't matter. But on things pertaining to communications, so like, I sent around a document recently. I forgot to include this in it. But so like if I sent around a document and asked everybody to review it, and then one person adds all their notes to it and then replies all and sends it to everybody, that's technically open discussion, right? Because then somebody else will take that and then add their notes to it, and then so it's if I were to send out the document to everybody individually sends me back their notes, and I can compile them because I'm the person working on the project and I can do all that. But yeah, so there's just little ways around it and little things you have to be cognizant of.
Which is why it's great for then the projects that we have for to cap it at 3, because then those 3 people could have productive email conversations about the project and just report back on.
They could be at a coffee shop and
Yeah.
talk about it. Okay.
This will be the most frustrating thing of all, is learning to operate under open meeting law. It has taken us a while.
Yeah. We've got our hands slapped a few times.
So just local,
Yes. Yeah.
not statewide yet.
Right. But yeah, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
I'm gonna add both of you to the Google group. So we communicate that way as well. So just, you all know how Google groups work. Just like that. So we added both of you onto that.
All right, so let's get moving on because we are getting late. The sun is down. That's most of my fault. I'm talking. Additional items for discussion, real quick. Anything anybody has to bring up that is not? So this period is sort of just like, all right, we're all group, we're all friends. If there's something you want to bring up that is not associated with communications, that like, I don't know, you're part of another committee and they're supporting something like Ed did the Quabbin Days, Quabbin Reservoir. He was part of that organization. This would be the time when you can tell everybody about it, just to share extra information with the team. Go ahead.
I actually don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but can I bring up something that's going to be voted at town meeting for CBC, just to mention the project? I don't know if that's allowed.
As long as you just mention that that's being voted, you don't have an opinion about how we should vote.
Oh, okay. there's a map that the Stonehouse Museum, Belchertown Historical Association has in their possession from 1727, which is the first map of Belchertown, and we got grant money to get it preserved, so that's going up for vote at town meeting. Just to let you know, if you go to town meeting, that's something to look for at town meeting. I won't have a vote. It was poorly laminated about 75 years ago. So somebody put like adhesive material over the top to try to get the paper to stay. So it has to go through a conservation process at a center in North Andover where they have to like put it in a chemical bath that won't take the ink off, but will, you know, repair it, and then they'll be able to make sure the paper stays stable.
Is it the whole town?
It's the whole town. It was, you know, the equivalent lands. It was before, you know, it was 1727, so it was really before people started settling here a few years later. And there will, if it gets voted at town meeting, there's going to be, Cliff McCarthy and I are going to do some public presentations at the library and senior center about it. So you'll hear about it.
Yes.
Yeah, let me know. We'll take that for sure.
We will ask them.
That is a perfect example of what this little period is for. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, deliberate next meeting time. So as we said, we have a regular schedule. It is the second and fourth Thursday of every month. So that would mean
14th.
technically the 14th. We would have a solid break before we meet again. This would be after the town meeting, right? Is it okay? Yeah.
But before the elections.
Yeah, which are the 18th.
So I can't make the 14th, which is okay, but somebody else would need to take minutes. And I don't know if anybody wants to.
That's right. The library is the clerk, so every committee has somebody who just takes minutes and stuff. So I think that'd be good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Does that work with everybody else? Same place, same time, although maybe I'll start looking for a bigger room if people want. Also,
I may
because,
not make it that day.
okay. And that's fine as well, as long as we hit quorum, which with more people, we'll be able to do. Because we have more people, I will state this again, if the second and fourth Thursday of every month at 6:30 this time does not work, it is a real pain in the butt to change it, but we can change it. We'll go through the process. We'll try to figure out what times people can meet during the day, during the night, whatever. Weekends, we'll figure it out. So if this does not work for a majority, or you just want to pose the question, throw your hand up, ask everybody, see if we get some support to move the time, and we'll go through the process of figuring that out. But until then, that is just, that is good to have like a regular schedule then, rather than like, okay, let's get our calendars together and like, okay, this day is good for me, but not that day. So, yeah. Okay, so we said what, May 15th?
14th.
14th.
Thursday, 14th. 6:30.
Okay. Presumably here, unless I decide to get some bigger.
It could be less like we're meeting, but
I feel like that would be even harder now because with more people.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we'd just be sitting in chairs more or less as opposed to around the table.
Back to the big echoey room.
Or
Go to the rec
rec
center.
Or the rec department, yeah.
They got the new tables and everything in there now.
That's right, the TVs and is the AC fixed?
The site of the unfortunate accident.
Yeah.
We had to shut down your computer.
Oh, yes, okay, we'll talk about that later.
You don't remember?
Yes, the adult content.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, with that, I am looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. It is 8:23 PM.
Pretty damn close to a record.
Oh, we've had some real early meetings before. All right, thank you, everybody.